Berlin, April 1945. A city that had once been the beating heart of a self-proclaimed thousand-year empire is now a skeleton of scorched stone and twisted rebar. The air is a thick, choking slurry of pulverized concrete, sulfur, and the iron tang of blood. Above ground, the Soviet Red Army is a slow-moving tide of vengeance, trading thousands of lives for every city block. But 50 feet beneath the scorched gardens of the Reich Chancellery, in a tomb of reinforced concrete, the architect of this apocalypse waits for the end. History tells us he took his own life as the Soviet hammer fell. But what if the mission to end the most devastating war in human history hadn't been left to the chaos of a siege? What if a Tier 1 element, a team of modern Navy SEALs, had been inserted into the center of Berlin with one objective: to breach the Führerbunker and eliminate the target with surgical, overwhelming precision? To understand how this mission would unfold, we have to look past the history books and into the kit bags of the world's most elite maritime innovators. We aren't just talking about a difference in training. We are talking about a technological chasm that spans 80 years of ballistics, optics, and human engineering. The SEALs wouldn't just be fighting the SS. They would be fighting as if they were gods of war from a future the defenders couldn't even comprehend. As the team fast ropes from a modified, stealth-coated MH-60 Black Hawk onto the rubble-strewn lawn of the Chancellery, the first weapon to clear the door is the HK416. This isn't just an assault rifle, it is the weapon that ended the hunt for bin Laden, and in the tight, dust-choked confines of a bunker, its gas piston system is its greatest asset. Unlike the standard rifles of 1945, which would jam the moment the grit of a collapsing building entered the chamber, the 416 is built to run through the worst environments on Earth. It's chambered in 5.56 NATO, a round designed to tumble and fragment upon impact, turning a single shot into a devastating internal event. In the hallways of the bunker, where every second counts, the SEALs rely on the HK416's reliability. They aren't worried about the carbon fouling that plagued earlier designs. They are focused on the EOTech holographic sights, which allow for both eyes open shooting. To an SS guard with iron sights, a SEAL with a red dot optic might as well be using a laser from another planet. They can acquire targets in milliseconds, putting 2 rounds into a defender's chest before the man has even finished raising his Mauser.
But as the team transitions from the outer courtyards into the narrow, claustrophobic stairwells leading to the lower levels, the length of the rifle becomes a liability. This is where the MK18 close-quarters battle receiver comes into play. With its short 10.5-inch barrel, the MK18 is the ultimate hallway fighter. In a world where the average combatant is carrying a full-length bolt-action rifle or a bulky submachine gun, the MK18 gives the SEAL the ability to slice the pie around corners with total control. It is compact enough to be tucked into the shoulder while moving through a 4-foot-wide concrete passage, yet it retains the lethality of a rifle. Every corner is a fatal funnel, and the MK18 is the tool that clears it. Attached to the rail is an LA-5 peak laser, invisible to the naked eye, but a beam of death through the SEAL's night vision. The defenders in the bunker would see nothing but shadows, while the SEALs follow a literal line of infrared light leading directly to the hearts of their enemies. Should the primary weapon fail, or the fight move into a space so tight that a rifle cannot be shouldered, the SEALs transition to the SIG Sauer P226, or the modern P320. To the 1945 defender, a sidearm is a badge of office or a last resort. To a SEAL, it is a surgical instrument. These pistols are high-capacity, rugged, and balanced for rapid-fire accuracy. In the pitch black of the lower bunker, where the air is thin and the tension is a physical weight, the transition from rifle to pistol is a fluid motion practiced thousands of times. It is the sound of a metallic click and a double tap. Clean, professional, and final. The greatest challenge of the Führerbunker isn't just the men inside, it's the bunker itself. Massive steel blast doors designed to survive a direct hit from a 500-pound bomb stand between the SEALs and their target. In 1945, the Soviets had to use heavy artillery or suicide charges to breach these points. The SEALs use the science of demolition. They carry C4 explosives and specialized linear-shaped charges. This isn't just about blowing a hole, it's about directed energy. They place a frame charge on a door, and the explosion is focused entirely inward, turning the steel door itself into a projectile that neutralizes anyone on the other side. For the lighter wooden doors or internal locks, they use the master key, a Benelli M4 tactical shotgun. Loaded with breaching rounds, essentially compressed zinc slugs that disintegrate on impact, it turns hinges into dust without risking a ricochet that could harm the team. As they push deeper, the psychological warfare begins. The SEALs deploy the M84 flashbang. In the concrete echo chamber of a bunker, the effect of a flashbang is magnified tenfold. It delivers a blinding flash of 7 million candelas and a blast of 170 decibels. To an SS soldier who has never seen anything more advanced than a potato masher grenade, this is a sensory collapse. Their inner ear is shattered, their vision is whited out, and their nervous system is temporarily paralyzed. By the time they regain their senses, the room has already been cleared, and the SEALs have moved on to the next objective. Throughout this entire raid, the SEALs possess an advantage that is perhaps the most magical of all: the GPNVG-18 panoramic night vision goggles. While the defenders are fumbling in the dark, trying to light lanterns or firing blindly at shadows, the SEALs see the world in a haunting, high-definition white phosphor glow. They see the sweat on a guard's brow from 20 yards away in total darkness. They see the heat signatures of bodies through thin partitions using thermal overlays. They have turned the darkness, the bunker's only defense, into their greatest ally. They move through the corridors like ghosts, picking off targets who never even saw their killers. To hold the entrance and prevent any outside SS reinforcements from interfering with the mission, the support element sets up the M249 SAW or the heavier MK18 machine gun. These aren't the slow, clattering machine guns of the 1940s that required a crew of 3 to operate. These are lightweight, belt-fed monsters that a single man can fire from the hip while moving or from a bipod to turn a hallway into a wall of lead. With a rate of fire of 800 rounds per minute, the MK18 ensures that no one enters or leaves the chancellery. And if an armored vehicle, like a stray Hetzer or a Panzer IV, were to rumble down the Wilhelmstrasse, the SEALs have the AT-4 rocket launcher. It's a single-shot, disposable tube that can punch through nearly 15 inches of armor plate. It makes the German Panzerfaust look like a school project. The contrast is staggering. The Soviets took Berlin with a sledgehammer, throwing millions of shells and hundreds of thousands of men at the problem until it broke. It was a victory of mass and sacrifice. A SEAL team would take the bunker with a scalpel. They represent the evolution of warfare from how many to how well. They bring integrated communications, allowing every man on the team to whisper to one another over encrypted radios, while the German command structure relies on shouting and runners. They bring body armor that can stop the 7.62x25 rounds of a Soviet PPSE or the 9 mm of an MP40, giving them a physical resilience that would seem like sorcery to a soldier of 1945. In the end, this hypothetical scenario shows us that while the courage of the soldier remains constant, the tools of the trade have fundamentally rewritten the rules of engagement. The Führerbunker was designed to be a sanctuary, a fortress that could withstand the end of the world. But against a modern Tier 1 unit, it is nothing more than a basement with bad lighting. The weapons of a Navy SEAL, the 416, the night vision, the shaped charges, and the tactical precision don't just win a fight, They end it before the enemy even realizes the fight has begun. As we look back at the ruins of 1945, we see the birth of the modern world. But through the eyes of a SEAL, we see how far we have truly come in the art of the shadow war. Whether it's the mountains of Afghanistan or the concrete heart of a fallen empire, the mission remains the same. Any time, any place, any weather. The history of the world was written in blood in 1945, but in this timeline, it would have been written with a single, suppressed shot in the dark.